Some of you were waiting for the session a little earlier, it looks like. Yes, very good evening. Okay. The session was scheduled for 6. Okay. All right, so let's get started. We have a lot to cover, right? Writing task 1. Okay. All right. So how do you feel about writing task 1? Academic task 1 is what? It's a report. Yes. Okay, so how do you feel about it? Okay, Tanish says tough. Yukti also says tough. Easier than task 2. Okay. More trouble with task 2. Line graph is kind of hard. Okay. What else? Okay. So some of you don't have much idea about it, which is fine. Today we'll be looking at task 1, writing, where you have to write a report, and it is about line graphs, charts, bar graphs, right? And things like that. So we'll be looking at one of each type. Yes. And I will be telling you how you can answer this question type properly. Yes. Always write bigger than you need to. Okay. All right. So for those of you who are asking, today we will be specifically looking at writing task 1 for academic. Yes. All right. Okay, let me start sharing the screen and let's get started because we have a lot to cover. Okay. Anyone new here? Is anyone here new, attending my session for the first time? Yes, new. Okay. So it looks like there are a lot of new students here with our session. Okay, so in that case, I will introduce myself and tell you a little bit about myself as well. Great. So happy to see so many new faces, and I hope I get to know you a little bit better. So let's tell you a little bit about myself. I am Swati. My name is Swati Ravi. I am an IELTS trainer, and I have 8 years, a little over 8 years of experience. I'm a British Council IELTS trainer, and I'm also a TESOL Canada Board certified English language trainer. I have more than 5,000 hours of teaching experience, and I have taught more than 3,000 students. So I can guarantee that I am going to be teaching you a lot of important things today. Task 1 can be confusing, so today we're going to be looking at how to make it less confusing. How do we make sure that we get a good score in task 1 academic? Yes? All right. So first things first, let's talk about the things that you need to keep in mind. And I would prefer if all of you make notes, yes, because these are things that are extremely important for task 1. As long as you follow these things, your score for task 1 will definitely improve, right? You can use a notepad or use a pen and paper, whichever is fine, but please make sure to note down these important things. All right. So those of you who are still asking me about general, this session will not be talking about task 1 for general. We will be specifically looking at task 1 for academic, because task 1 academic has many types and we need this time to cover all the types. All right. And yes, there's also the issue with the word limit. I am seeing some of you posting questions about that. So few things that you need to keep in mind. First thing is that you need to reach the word limit, right? And this can go either way. Sometimes we have trouble reaching the word limit. Sometimes we have trouble sticking to the word limit, right? Sometimes we end up writing an answer that is unnecessarily long. Yes, I know that this also is an issue. So we will be addressing both of those. What to do when you have written less than 150 and what to do when you've written too much. Yes, or you feel that it's difficult for you to contain the information within 150 to 180. Yes, so we will talk about the word limit. I will tell you what you need to do in order to stick to the word limit. Okay, next thing is the introduction. So the word limit is the main thing. If you don't write 150 words, let's see. If you don't write 150 words, you will lose marks for that. Okay, so please make sure that you're writing at least 150 words. More than 150 words is okay, but it should not have too much information. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we are going through the question types. Okay, so the introduction, what do we write in the introduction? What does this mean? What does it mean to paraphrase? What do we do in the introduction? Do we write a big introduction for this question type? Yes, we only write a small introduction where we are simply paraphrasing the title, the question, right? We don't add any new information in the introduction. Yes, will all of you keep this in mind? Do not add new information to the introduction. Yes, only whatever is there in the question, only that will be there. Okay, no new information. Yes, this is something that you need to keep in mind for the introduction. Do not introduce anything that is not there in the question. Yes, and we will not use the same words that we see in the question. We will paraphrase in our own words. Yes, Sehaj, correct. Next, you need to include an overview. What is an overview? Just tell me what you think. What do you think is an overview? And what do we, okay, yes, it's a overall view. Yes, a summary, overall, okay. Analysis of all the general ideas. Yes, summary, overall summary, fantastic. Okay, so it looks like all of you are aware of what it means to write an overview. Yes, an overview is not a thesis. A thesis is an opinion statement where you give your stand on something. Overview for task 1 will only talk about the overall or the main general trends. Yes, which is nothing but the overall picture. Yes, okay. Now, one thing I would like to mention before we continue with the important points. Task 1 is 100% factual. What does this mean? What does it mean 100% factual? What does the word factual means? Okay, based on facts. Yes. So what should I not have in this answer? Exactly, Sam. No need for opinions. Yes, it is completely based on the facts. Yes. So 100% factual. Your answer also has to be 100% factual. Yes. What do we not include? No opinions. Yes. And no what? Assumptions. Yes. No predictions. Right? Nothing apart from what is there in the question will be included. Only what is there in the image that you see, you can only include what you see, right? For example, one student wrote, the forest remained the same in order to preserve the natural beauty. What is this? So he's saying that in both these maps, the forest remained unchanged. Is this okay? So the fact that it remained the same is okay. What about in order to preserve natural beauty? Yes. Yes, Sam, you're correct. This is his assumption. Do we know this? Will a map tell you? Exactly. This is an assumption. You cannot include any assumptions anywhere in task 1. Yes, This is extremely important. You cannot say they have kept it to preserve natural beauty, because your map does not say why they have kept it. Your map will only show this has changed, this has changed, this has remained the same. Only that you will see. So do not include any types of assumption. You can't say that railroad was, okay. Another example, railway station was added to since more visitors will be there. This again is an assumption, right? The only fact, yes, Sam, only visual facts. Whatever you see in the image and the question include only that. Yes, you know that the station has been added, that you can say, but you cannot say that there will be more visitors, that's why they have added it. It may be true, but your image does not convey that information. Yes, so please be very careful. Don't add any kind of assumptions. Only what is there in the question, only that you will write. Yes, I hope that is clear, and I hope those of you who are making this mistake will correct it going forward. Okay, next thing is, in the question itself, they will clearly say select and report. What is the significance of this word, select and report? Anyway, I'm writing a report. So why do I have to worry about this word select and report? What do you think? Extremely important. But why? What does this mean? Select and report? Keywords? How do I know what are the keywords? How will I know that? Okay, but what am I selecting? Main topic? Is there a main topic in charts and bar graphs? Task 1, you have images, right? Bar graphs, charts. Yes, Mahendra. So we will select facts and figures that are important. Yes, your general trends will be mentioned in the overview, but in your body paragraphs, you will only include important facts. So what does this mean? It means do not mention everything. Yes. So you don't have to mention every single thing you see. Just because it is there doesn't mean you have to mention everything. Yes? Okay? All right. Yes. So it has to be short and clear. You will select what is important and you will leave out some information. But is it okay if we leave out all the minor details? Can we do that? What will happen? Only the main, only important points I'll mention, only highest I'll mention. I can't do that, right? I can't leave out all the small information, but I can't mention every single number either, right? So what will I do in this case? So I don't want to mention every single number, every single percentage. I don't want to mention, but I can't leave them out. So what can I do? Using metaphors? No, don't use metaphors in task 1. What you should do is combine those little pieces of information. Yes, the smallest ones, you have to mention them anyway, but you can combine them. Yes, for example, if I have 2%, 1%, 1%, I don't have to mention coal is 2%, petrol is 1%, right? Instead, I will say coal, petrol, and diesel together account for 3%. Yes, so biggest facts, important facts, we will mention individually. Smaller ones and the smallest ones, combine them together and finish it in fewer words. Yes, yes, Nikhil. So we will mention them together. Unable to understand? Okay, so I'll show you examples for everything. So don't worry if this explanation, if this particular point is a bit difficult to understand, you will understand when I'm showing you an example. Okay, so the next point is related to this as well. Never crowd the answer with too many pieces of information or too many numbers. Yes, so that is why we will not mention the number for everything. So biggest pieces, biggest numbers, highest numbers, these we will mention individually. Smaller ones we will combine. Yes, okay. Extend points when information is limited. When does this happen? There is a particular question type in task 1 where it is difficult for us to reach the word limit. Can anyone tell me which one that is? For bar graph, chart and all that, we have lots of information, right? That is not a problem. But there is one question type, yes, process. Process, particularly life cycle. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but you can have life cycle as describe the image. This will usually be difficult to reach the word limit because you'll only have 5 or 6 steps in the life cycle. So then it becomes difficult for us to reach that 150 word limit. So in that case, we will mention every single thing. Everything that you can see, you will try to elaborate and make the sentences longer, but you still cannot add assumptions. Yes? Okay. So in life cycle, I will show you how to extend those pieces of information. Next, pay attention to the tense. Yes. So depending on the image, the tense will change. If you're talking about a map from 1990, what tense will we use? We will use past tense. Yes. And if I'm comparing it to the present, then I will use present tense. Yes. Okay. What about life cycle? What tense will I use for process and life cycle? Things that never change. Yes, I will use simple present. Yes, correct. Wow, I have a fantastic group. Good job, guys. All right, so now this is it. I've given you all the basic information. Now we will start looking at examples for each type. Yes, and what I want you to do is to tell me how can we select? What pieces of information are we going to take? What are we going to leave out? Yes, and I will also make you tell me what should be in the overview? What can I add in the overview? Yes. Shall we start? Everyone ready to start? Yes. Good. Okay. So, fantastic. All right. So, let's get started. First things first, this is the format that you should follow. Have an introduction, then overview, then 2 body paragraphs. We don't have conclusion for this question type. Yes. Introduction will only be 1 or 2 sentences. Overview will also be only 1 or 2 sentences and then 2 body paragraphs. Yes. All right. Great. So yes, overall you have 4 paragraphs. First 2 will be smaller. Second 2 will be longer. Yes. Okay. Let's start with the life cycle process. So how many stages are there totally? There's only 5 stages. So it's going to be difficult for us to reach the 150 word limit. Am I right? There's only 5 stages and all 5 stages are very simple. There's no details here. So what can I do? It is better not to combine introduction and overview. Better write the introduction separately and then overview separately. Yes, you can write the overview in the end as well. It is up to you. But we generally prefer that you write it immediately after the introduction. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So for this process, what will I say in the introduction? I will paraphrase the title. Yes. Is this a process? What is it? It is a type of process. What type of process is it? It's a biological process. Yes, you can call it a biological process. You can call it a life cycle. Yes, right. Okay, so the cycle depicts the life cycle of butterfly. Now, life cycle of a butterfly is already there in the title. So we will try to change the order of these words. Yes. So you can say this image shows the 5 different stages involved in the what? What can I say instead of life cycle? Yes, good job, Richa. You can say development of a butterfly from an egg to an adult. Yes. So when you get a life cycle, always try to elaborate every single sentence. Try to make every single sentence long as you can. Yes, because it is difficult for us to get to the 150 mark. Okay, so I can say something like, I'll write it here. This image shows the several, instead of saying 5, I'll say several different, because I want to increase the number of words. So I can say several different stages in the development of a butterfly from an egg to adult. Or I can say to an adult. Yes? Yes. Evolution is not the correct word. Evolution is different from development. Shows the 5 stages. If you say 5, you should say stages. Okay? The above image, it's better that you don't say above or following. Just say this image, or the image is also fine. Yes. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to say is, for life cycle, please extend every single sentence as much as you can. Yes. I'm not repeating the introduction because you can see it on the screen. I've typed it in. Okay. So you can talk about it, just changing the words a little bit and trying to extend your sentence as much as possible. Okay. So then I will start. What overview can I give for this? What overview can I give? What do you think? Overall, what will I say? Yes. Overall, okay. See, the biocycle of the butterfly from egg to adulthood, all that will go in your introduction. But what about my overview? What overview will I write for the introduction? I mean, for this overall egg became a butterfly. Yes, Yukti, we'll talk about the number of stages, right? That is why I'm telling you, don't include the number of stages in the introduction. Otherwise, you won't have anything for the overview. Okay? So in your introduction, you will just say what this image is showing and from where to where. Yes. Overall, it can be seen that there are 5 steps involved in the complete growth of a butterfly. That's it, right? So you can have just one sentence for overviews also, fine. But you need to make sure that you have an overview. Yes, if you don't have an overview, you will lose marks. Okay, all right, guys. So introduction is done, overview is done. Yes, you can say overall, it is clearly seen that there are 5 stages involved in the development of the butterfly. Yes. Yes, okay, good job. I'm seeing a lot of good answers here. Fine. So when I'm explaining this now, explanation for life cycle is the easiest type, right? Because I don't have to worry about order. I don't have to worry about what should I write first, what should I write next. Directly, you can go from egg to caterpillar, then chrysalis, and then adult emerges, then it becomes a full adult, right? So we will only use what tense? We are only going to use simple present tense. So I will start by saying what? I'll start with the egg. Yes, and throughout you will only use simple present tense. Okay, so the process or the cycle begins with an adult that lays an egg. Now, what more can I add? In the image, I can see that the egg is sitting on what? The egg is on top of? Egg is on top of what? A leaf. So I'll try to add that also, because in this image, I have very little information. So I'll add everything that I possibly can add. So I will say the cycle begins with an adult that lays an egg on a leaf. Yes? All right. Then what can I say? The egg then hatches and turns into a caterpillar. Okay, but I don't want to finish my sentence here because I need to extend my sentences as much as possible. So I will say the egg then hatches and turns into a caterpillar. After which the caterpillar continues to grow to its full size. Yes? Okay. Once the egg hatches, it becomes a caterpillar, which is quite small in size. Yes. Good job. Right? So add these kinds of extensions when you are talking about life cycle. Yes, it eats leaves. It feeds on leaves. All those things you can add. Turns into a caterpillar. After some days, it continues to be small in size. It grows over a period of time. Yes. And caterpillars usually have a pattern on it. Yes. Fantastic. Right? After that, I will continue to say the caterpillar then what happens? How can I introduce chrysalis? Feeds on leaves. Okay. The caterpillar continues to feeds on leaves, and once it has reached its full size, it does what? It forms a chrysalis around itself. Yes? Okay. So once, yes, that's a good answer. Once it gets enough nutrition, it goes into hibernation. Okay. It creates a capsule around itself. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Right? Okay. One more thing. I'm seeing that some of you are mentioning the pupa. Right? But you can't use that word because that's not included in the image. Only use what is already there in the image. Yes? Here they have titled it chrysalis. So please use that. Okay. Yes. Good job, guys. So that's it. For life cycle, you will go from stage 1 to the last stage, but every single sentence you will try and elongate as much as you can, because otherwise it is difficult to reach the 150 word mark. Yes? All right. Good job, guys. Good job. All right. Now let's look at the next type. Okay. Now this is another type of image. Now we have two images here, right? So when you have two images, what can we do? Write one paragraph for image 1 and one paragraph for image 2. Don't overcomplicate the process. Yes, you can present comparisons within that, but don't overcomplicate it. Yes, don't overcomplicate. Write one paragraph for cement production, one paragraph for concrete production. But in the introduction, I have to mention both. Yes. So in the introduction, I will say what? I can say these images. I have two images. So I will say these images, what? Illustrate. Okay. The first image illustrates the manufacturing of cement in its industry. Okay. And the second image shows the production of concrete. Okay. That is fine. How are these two images related? It's because of this, right? So only after cement is formed, cement is used to create concrete. Yes. But when you see this type of image, should we elaborate every sentence? Should we make every sentence long? Should we do that or no? Don't do it. Yes, because there's already enough information for you to reach the 150 word mark. So don't unnecessarily lengthen the sentence if the image is already complicated. Yes. So in the introduction, I will mention cement production as well as concrete production. And I will also mention that concrete is made using cement. What about overall? What can I write in my overview now? I have two images. So what will I write in my overview? Okay. I have to mention both in the overview, correct? Right? Okay, I have to mention both. So what information can I add in the overview? In the intro, I will mention both. Yes? Okay. And in overview, I have to mention both. But how will I do that? I can talk about stages in cement, and I can also talk about stages or materials in concrete. Yes, we'll only give the overview. So I will say, overall, it is seen that for cement production, limestone and clay are the raw materials, whereas for concrete production, cement, sand, and gravel are the main materials or raw materials. Yes, don't make your overview unnecessarily long. Don't include specific details in the overview. Or you can even say this process of cement production involves 2, 3, 4, 5 stages. Yes, whereas concrete only has one stage where all the materials are mixed together. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So when you are writing the overview for these types of questions, don't go into details, right? You have to mention both, but give only the basic information. All right. Good job, guys. Okay. So now in paragraph 1, I have to follow the same process as before. I will mention one after another. For process, always follow the same order that you see in the image. So I will start with this, right? This is 1. Crusher is the first one. Yes. Then I will talk about mixer. Again, what tense am I using for this? What tense will I use? I have to use simple present. Yes, because it is still a process. So I will say something like, in the first stage, limestone and clay are added to the crusher. Yes. Okay. Yes, correct. They are blended together. Yes. Then I can say they are mixed together and the powder is sent. Okay, they are mixed together in a mixer. Yes. All right. Okay, guys. So this is the same process as before. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that when you have 2 images, please write them as 2 paragraphs. Don't make it overcomplicated. Yes. So as you can see, concrete production is simpler, right? So after you talk about concrete production, you can include a comparison. Yes. All right. Okay, guys. So let's take, let's pause for a bit and let's talk about the surprise gift that is available to you. It has been shared in the chat. Please check the chat for the link. You can subscribe to our channel and you will get a really nice surprise. Please check out the link and you will be able to avail the surprise. Yes? Okay. Please click on the link and you will be able to avail the surprise gift that is coming up. Okay, and I have a gift for you as well. Those of you who are here for the first time, you can take this quiz and unlock a free course. Yes, so you can join my course for completely free if you are a first-time user. Let me share the link with you. You will need to take this quiz in order to avail the free course. Yes? All right. Okay, so the link has been shared in the chat box. Those of you who are first-time users, you can join this link and take a free course with me if you clear this quiz. Yes, those of you who have already joined, you can use the code SWLive20 and avail a 20% discount on the course. Our course will be for 20 hours of live classes with me, and we will be covering all 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, speaking, everything. Yes, you will find my name listed in the IELTS Plus course, Swati Ravi. The batch is starting on the 24th of Feb. It is a 5 to 6 p.m. batch. It is a 4 weeks course. If you are a first-time user, you can join this course completely free. If you have already joined some other course, you can still join it for a 20% discount simply for 239 rupees. This is a fantastic deal, guys. You will not find this anywhere else. You will get weekly mock tests as well, and you will get one-on-one speaking feedback. Yes, we will also be doing your writing evaluations. We will correct your essays and send you your corrections. Those of you who have already joined my other batch, please continue the session. Yes, and those of you who would like to join my batch, you can join using this code if you are not a first-time user. Those of you who are new users, you can join my batch completely free of cost using the link. I am sharing the link again for those of you who would like to join the course for free. You can join any course for free. Just give me a second. Yes, this is the same Plus course. This is a new batch that is starting on the 24th. Those of you who would like to join for free, first-time users, you can join using this link. Yes? Okay. Any questions, please let me know. And yes, you will have access to all the recordings as well. If you happen to be sick or something, you can't join the session, it's not a problem. You can watch all of the recordings as well. Yes? All right. And speaking sessions happen every day. You have the speaking clubs where you can practice speaking every day. Those of you who are asking about it, it is a 4-week course. Yes? New users, have you joined the course for free? Those of you who have availed this opportunity and joined it for free, please give me a thumbs up so I'll know. Yes? Those of you who have already joined a different course, you can still join using the code SWLive20 for a 20% discount. Yes? Okay, so I'm seeing quite a few. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So those of you who would like to join, please use the link and join. Those of you who are second-time users, you can join using SWLive20. You will still get a discount. All right. Okay, guys. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You will also get a free, I won't say free, you have a surprise coming up. Those of you who subscribe to the channel. Yes? Okay. How do we get to know the word count? If you're taking the CBT test, the word count will be mentioned. And those of you who are taking the paper-based test, you will need to get a general idea. Just count the number of lines. That is sufficient. Okay. All right, guys. So writing evaluations are also part of your mock tests. All the answers you submit for your mock test will be evaluated by us. All the trainers are extremely qualified, highly skilled trainers with many, many years of experience. So you can choose whichever batch is matching your convenience. There are batches for all timings, morning, early morning, afternoon, late night. We have batches for all the timings. So whatever works for you, you can join a batch that is convenient. Yes? All right. And yes, let's get back to the session. Are we ready to continue the session? Yes? Everyone ready to continue the session? Okay. All right. Those of you who would like to join the session or need the link, please let me know. I will keep sharing it on the chat. Okay. So let's go back to the session. So what we've looked at is process and a different type of process. Let's also look at how we would select information for a bar chart, select information for pie chart and table as well. Yes? Okay. So in a bar chart, introduction, I will leave it to you. Introduction is just the paraphrasing of the title. Yes, paraphrase the title for the introduction, write it in your own words without using the words in the question. What can I write an overview for this? For a bar graph, what can I write an overview? Is there a specific overview? Tell me this first. Is there a right overview? For this question, this is the only overview. Can I say that? Is there a set overview for this question? Okay. Yes, comparison. Okay, many of you are saying yes. All right, let me clarify. There is no set answer for the overview. Whatever you think is the main idea, whatever stands out to you the most, that you can write as an overview. There is no right answer. Okay, so for me, I may say that this trend is the overview for me. Right? I'll compare this with this. This may be my overview. Someone else may compare laptops and tablets. Someone else may use only tablets and smartphones. Totally fine. Yes, guys, it is totally fine for you to select what you think is the major trend. Okay, so it's not true that there is only one overview. No, it's not like that. Whatever you think is the major trend, that will go into the overview. Yes, okay. So the overview for this will contain a major trend. Yes, trend is not the same as numbers. Yes, do not add the numbers in the overview. You will only talk about the overall trend. So I can say overall, it is evident that smartphones had the highest sales, with tablets closely behind. Yes, so for the overview, please make sure that you mention the major trend. And this major trend is up to you. Whatever you think is the major trend, use that. Yes? Okay, all right. Good job. So I'm seeing some answers in the chat as well. Yes, that is the introduction. So the introduction will simply paraphrase the title. Yes, so instead of saying online sales of smartphones, laptops, and tablets, I can say 3 types of gadgets. Instead of saying first quarter, I can say first 4 months of 2019. Yes? All right. Good job, guys. So the overview will be major trends. You can compare 2 major trends, either tablets and smartphones or laptops and tablets, whichever, it is up to you. Which you select as the major trend is up to you. Okay? And when you're selecting and reporting, how can we separate this into 2 paragraphs? What can I do to separate it? How should I separate it? What do you think? Okay, I can separate it month-wise. Yes, I can write Jan and Feb in 1 para, March and April in 1 para. Yes, I can do that. Or I can even write laptops and tablets in 1 para, then smartphones in the next, along with some comparisons. Yes, and inside each paragraph, I will mention what? The highs and lows. Yes, Jasmine, that is correct. So the information I am selecting is, I can separate it either by months, or I can separate it by tablet, laptop, smartphone. That is also okay. Again, this is up to you. But however you split it up, inside you will mention the highest point, then you will also mention lowest points. But what will I do about the lowest point? Will I mention every single low point? I'll combine them. Yes, combine some data. So I will try to combine whatever it is possible for me to combine. Like for example, tablets. Can I combine Feb and March? It's the same, right? So I will say in the months of Feb and March, tablets were at 60 million units. Yes, or 65, I think. Right? So these two I'll combine. And these two also I can try to combine. They are similar, not exactly the same. I can say January is 30 and April was a little less or slightly lesser. Yes. So what you need to be careful about when you are writing the body paragraphs is don't mention the numbers for every single data. That is the most important thing. Yes. All right, guys. Yes, the growth of smartphones you can mention. Like I said, you can write one para for Jan, Feb and one para for March, April, or you can write one para for laptops and tablets and one paragraph for smartphones because that has the highest revenue. Yes. All right. Okay, guys. Can we assume the number? Yes, absolutely. Use approximation. Say almost 65, around 65. Yes, totally fine to do that. Okay. Let's quickly look at pie chart as well. About 65 is also okay. Okay. What about this? What can I put in my overview? Guys, we are running out of time. Let's try and look at selection of information. Okay, overview. What will I put in my overview? What goes in my overview for this? I have two pie charts, right? One is boys, leisure and cultural activities. The other one is girls. So in my overview, I can say what? What is the, yes, overall it can be seen what? Highest percentage is what? For boys, it is what? Yes. So I will present a comparison of most important points. Yes, but no numbers. Be careful. Yes. Okay. So the most important points. So I will say, overall, it can be seen that basketball was a favorite activity for boys, whereas for girls, it was dancing. Yes, or I can include two each. For example, I can say for boys, basketball and computer games were the two most favorite activities. For girls, it was dancing was the most favorite activity. That's it. I don't have to have a second one for girls just because I gave second there. Yes, so I can say basketball and computer games were the most preferred activity for boys, whereas dancing was the most preferred activity for girls. That's it. My overview is done. Then each paragraph, I will write one paragraph for boys and one paragraph for girls. But should I mention every single percentage? Will I mention every single percentage? I will not, right? And this question does not have a year, right? So I can use present tense. I will say basketball is, computer games are. I don't have to use past tense because they have not given me a year. Yes, you don't have to connect. Write one paragraph for boys, one paragraph for girls. In the overview, you will present a comparison. Yes, don't overcomplicate this process, guys, because I know that some students try to compare everything. Don't overcomplicate the process. You are not expected to do that. You're only expected to present a comparison when it is necessary. And you can do that in the overview. Yes, so we will not mention all the numbers. So the smaller numbers I will combine. So I will say for boys, listening to music and skateboarding were around 10%. One is 10, one is 11. But I'll just say around 10 for both, because I want to reduce the number of numbers I mentioned. Yes. Or I can even combine all three. Reading, skateboarding, and listening to music only contributed to how much? 10, 20, 21, 23% totally. Yes, you can combine the smaller ones together if you are crossing the word limit. If the word limit is a problem, you can combine these smaller things. Yes. Okay. In this pie chart, there is no year mentioned. So we will use present tense. But what if this was 1990? Yes, and this is 2010. Then what will I do? Then for 1990, I will write in past tense, and for 2010 also I will write in past tense because that is also past. But suppose this is present, then I will, if it says now, then I will use present tense for girls. Yes, maximum you can write. See, there is no upper limit, right? But you won't have time for your essay if you write a very long one, and it is not advisable. Because for this question type, you are supposed to write a short and crisp answer that matches all the criteria. Do you have a clear introduction? Do you have a clear overview? Have you given only important details and combined smaller details? Yes, is it organized clearly? These are the things that matter. Yes, so don't write an unnecessarily long answer. All right, that's it. Brings us to the end of the session, but I want to show you the last one. We are actually running out of time, but I would like to hear your inputs on this. How can I combine? What can I leave out in a table? Just look at this table for 1 minute. Tell me what I can combine, what I can mention as important, and what I can leave. Okay, radio I'll combine. Yes, radio. Radio I'll combine because it's the same for everyone. Then I can combine cinema and outdoor. Absolutely. Right? Because the numbers are low for all these companies for cinema and outdoor. Yes. Inside that I can say cinema and outdoor, money spent on advertising through cinema and outdoor was very low for all 4 companies, but Rover and Citrazine barely spent anything. I can say this just to add some more, right? I'm combining it, but I'm also mentioning that Rover and Citrazine spent even lesser than Renault and Warhol. Yes? Yes, you can say pie chart expresses. That is fine. Right. So my main points will be TV and press. Yes. And what is the contradiction in this press? Can you tell me? There is one number, one figure that is totally different from the others. Which is that? Warhol as well as Citrazine, right? These two are much lower. So I have to mention this. When I'm talking about the press, I will say Renault and Rover spent, yes, spent much higher numbers, being 45 and 38 respectively, whereas Warhol and Citrazine spent only 8 and 12 million. Yes, yes, you can use the word considerable amount when you're talking about Renault and Rover. Yes, then main point in your overview, what will you say? TV is the most preferred type of advertising for all 4 companies, with the press being a close second. Yes, or the press being the second preferred choice. Yes. All right, guys, that's it. We have reached the end of the session, and I hope that you found it useful. I hope that you will be careful about selecting and reporting information. Don't include every number. Don't include everything that you see. Yes, only select and report when you have a lot of information. Thank you guys for joining. Please join the session, join the course which is starting on the 24th. Those of you who are interested, you can use the link. Yes, overview will never contain numbers. All right. Okay, guys, thank you all. Timings for the 24th batch is 5 to 6 p.m. IELTS uses only real life graphs, no imaginary graphs. All right, guys, thank you. See you all. Have a good day.